January 1879, Southern Africa. The Anglo-Zulu War has already delivered its first shock. At Isandlwana, a British column has been destroyed in the open veldt, not defeated in retreat, not pushed back, but erased in a single, coordinated assault by the Zulu Impi. News of the disaster spreads fast through Natal, and with it, something more dangerous than fear: isolation. A small British supply station and mission post sits further west at a river crossing called Rorke's Drift. It is never meant to be a battlefield, only a depot, a hospital, a place of rest. Now, after Isandlwana, it becomes something else. Around 150 British and colonial troops are inside the station. Most are sick or wounded. The command rests with two men, Lieutenant John Chard of the Royal Engineers and Lieutenant Gonville Bromhead of the 24th Regiment. They begin to fortify the buildings with mealie bags and crates, not because they expect a siege, but because there is nothing else to do. Far to the east, the Zulu army is already moving. Anglo-Zulu War has entered its most unpredictable phase. The Zulu force advancing on Rorke's Drift is not a mob. It is an army shaped by discipline, ritual, and experience. Thousands of warriors move in coordinated formations. The classic horns of the buffalo tactic designed to encircle and crush. They are veterans of Isandlwana. They carry captured British rifles, assegais, and the confidence of victory. Inside Rorke's Drift, the defenders hear reports first, then distant movement, then silence. By late afternoon, dust rises on the horizon. The first line of Zulu scouts appears on the ridge, then more and more. Lieutenant Chard orders the final defensive perimeter, a tight rectangle of mealie bag walls around the hospital and storehouse. The perimeter is barely waist-high in places. There is no depth, no escape route, only angles of fire. The Zulu commander, Prince Dabulamanzi Kampande, positions his men for a full assault. The battlefield is set. The attack begins without artillery, without warning, only movement. The left horn of the Zulu Impi surges forward at a run. British rifle fire cracks across the yard. The defenders fire controlled volleys from behind the mealie bags. Smoke builds quickly in the enclosed space. The Zulu warriors reach the outer barricades and collide with them at speed. Some are shot at point-blank range. Others climb over falling bodies to reach the walls. Inside the station, the hospital becomes a focal point of chaos. Wounded men are moved room to room as the outer walls are breached. Chard orders a withdrawal line deeper into the compound. The perimeter shrinks. Fire spreads along the thatched roofs. The British are now fighting in compartments: yard, storehouse, hospital, each becoming its own separate battle. The Zulu attacks do not stop. They rotate, wave after wave pressing forward, then pulling back, then returning again. There is no pause in the pressure. As night falls, the hospital becomes untenable. Zulu warriors break through the walls and set sections of the building alight. Flames consume the roof beams. Smoke fills the rooms where wounded soldiers still lie on stretchers. Inside, men are carried out through narrow holes cut into the walls, one by one, under fire. Private John Williams and a handful of others hold the inner rooms long enough for evacuation, firing from doorways as the fire closes in behind them. Outside, the perimeter is now reduced to 2 buildings and a shrinking yard. The defenders are exhausted. Ammunition is being passed hand to hand. The Zulu Impi continues to press forward in disciplined surges, using darkness as cover, retreating only to reorganize. There is no sign of withdrawal, only endurance. Through the night, the fighting becomes intermittent but relentless. Small groups of Zulu warriors probe the barricades, testing weak points. Rifle fire answers each attempt, but the defenders cannot see far into the darkness. At times, the fighting is close enough that bayonets are used over the walls. At dawn, the station is still standing, but barely. The perimeter has collapsed inward again. The men are now defending a core of rubble, burnt beams, and sandbags. Then, suddenly, the Zulu attacks slow. There is confusion in their lines. Casualties are heavy. Ammunition is low. The coordination begins to break. By mid-morning, the assault stops. The Impi begins to withdraw from the ridge, moving back into the veldt in small groups. No pursuit follows. There is nothing left to pursue. When silence finally returns, Rorke's drift is unrecognizable. The walls are blackened. The ground is covered in debris, spent cartridges and bodies from both sides. 11 Victoria Crosses will later be awarded for the defense, one of the most decorated stands in British military history. But there is no celebration in the immediate aftermath, only exhaustion. The men who survive do not speak of victory, only survival. Rorke's drift was not a triumph of numbers or firepower. It was a calculation of endurance, where a few dozen men held a position long enough for the storm to pass, and the war continues. Anglo-Zulu war would soon decide its final outcome, far from this burning station. Thank you for watching. If you want more forgotten battles, subscribe. It helps more than you know.